Hello guys and welcome to the HRL Season 7 track preview. As most of you probably remember, if you've done the previous seasons, before voting starts there's always a track preview video released or several videos released depending on how I decide to do it. This season the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to do a GP section, a Supercross section, an oval section, and a rallycross section. And I'll even include some footage as well of the Grand Finals tracks that are returning, because I've had a few changes to them as well. So those are already in, but I'll include some footage of those just to show like what has changed going into when we race it again. And I might even show a little bit of footage of some of the concept races that we have that aren't submissions, but are things that like could work out in the future that need to be tested, stuff like that. So it's gonna be kind of loaded. So the first track on screen is Ogygia GP. Version 2, so this is a track from, I believe we raced it in Season 3 and Season 4, so a bit of an old track here, and Fireball went on it and touched it up a little bit and changed some stuff on it, so that's pretty much Ogygia. If you want to vote for that track, you're going to have to DM me, and I guess I'll go into that process in a second. So voting starts on May 4th, which is going to be this Friday, and some of you are probably wondering, oh, well, you know, isn't that the same day that the submission ends? Isn't this video coming out a little early? I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so voting ends on that day. That's also, or voting starts on that day. Submission ends on that day. And that's when you guys can send me in your votes. So in order to send me your votes, there's a few different methods you could do it. The best and the one that I would prefer is if you DM me the votes on Discord. That's the one I would prefer. If you don't want to do that, you can also put them in a YouTube comment on one of these videos or all these videos, a single one of these videos, whatever, because it's going to be different, different videos for each portion. This next track on the screen, by the way, Palladium GP by Roman. But yeah, so you can comment on the videos, you can message me through Discord, and the other one that just came to my mind is you could also message me on Xbox for your votes. Those are the three ways to do it. Like I said, best way to do it is Discord, so do that if possible. If you can't, then do it through any of the other two means. And I should probably go through how many votes we're going to have, so I'll go through that in a second. But before we get to that, in order to tell me like which tracks you're voting for, there's a couple ways you can do that as well. The first one, which I think is pretty obvious, is you could just tell me like, okay, the track names of all of them. So, I don't know, just throw random track names in there, and those would be the ones that you want to vote for. And the other way you can do it is you can, when you go into the track submission doc, which I'll have a link to in the description, I'll also have in the description a list of the tracks that are shown throughout the video and timestamps of where to see those tracks. The reason I'm doing that is because of the fact that it would just be really annoying if you have already seen some of the tracks and you're looking for specific ones. Or maybe you want to maybe you can't decide on a vote, so you want to keep going back to two different tracks and keep looking at them and seeing which one you like more. So there's a few different benefits to having the timestamps. So I'm gonna have those in the description for all these videos, even the RX and Oval ones, which will be a bit shorter, just to help save you guys some time, because I don't want the voting process to take too long for anybody, because I know that it can. Especially if you haven't, like for example, obviously I've raced on all of them because I had to make this video. I know the majority of people, I would say probably nobody else. I'd be very surprised if someone else has raced on every single one of these tracks. So that's the whole idea behind this video, is so you can just look at them and get an idea through that. Obviously the best thing for you to do though, if you guys have the time, is to not just watch the video, but go on and test some of them as well. Actually race them for yourselves and see if you change your mind based on the way it races. Like maybe it races a bit different than it looks in the video, so maybe actually going on the track forces you to change your mind, and you might end up voting for something else. So I'd strongly encourage you guys to test out the tracks, but like I said, not everybody has that amount of time, so I'm not going to scold you if you just watch the video, little tidbits of the tracks, and vote based on that. I think that would be just fine. But anyways, that was a bit of a tangent, so I'm trying to remember where I was. So I think I said how to do the votes, or how to send in your votes. I think I said you can do the ID number. So yeah, when you're voting for the track, in the track submission form, it has the ID number to the left. So you could say I want to vote for track number 5, number 8, number 11, whatever. You could do that, or like I said, you could just do the names of the tracks. The ID number might be a little bit quicker. So if you want to save time, I think, yeah, that might be a little bit faster. But also, if you don't look at the submission doc, even though it's right there in the description, you could, for based off the video, based off the description, and I'll have little title cards that show the name of each track as they pop up on screen. So it might be a little bit easier for you to just, based off the video, just give me the track name. Alright, so, yeah, that pretty much summed all that up. One more thing. Okay, so the thing I wanted to go over was how many votes there are, because that's always the thing, and people always frickin' get it confused. So I'm going to try to make it as clear as possible so people don't mess it up. Not only am I going to say it right now, I'm also going to put it in the description of each of the videos for how many, like for example in the GP video I'll be like, alright, you can, in the description it'll be like you can vote for 4 of these or whatever. That's not the number, but just throwing things out there. For the oval video it'll be like you can vote for 5 of these. For the RX it'll be like you can vote for 3 of these. So it'll say it in the description as well. Because every single season I have had several people mess up the number of votes that they submit, and I don't think that's a very I think that is a very hard thing to mess up. Like, it shouldn't be that difficult to give me the proper amount of votes. So let's get into that. So for GP, obviously important for this video, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks that you can vote for. And the reason for that is there are actually, and this is all including grand finals, by the way, there is actually 6 GPs that will be raced, but just like previous seasons, those grand finals tracks are raced again. So we have formal, which is already in the schedule, so that's why it's 5 GPs that you're voting for, and not 6. So when you're done watching this video, remember it's 5 GPs. 5. Okay, 5. All right. 5 GPs. 5. I don't know if you heard that. 5 votes. You can vote for 5 tracks. 5. So when you send me the DM or the YouTube comment or the Xbox message or whatever, 5 GP tracks. That is how many you can vote for. Some of you may be wondering about grand finals, because we did, I think it was season 5 we did voting for grand finals tracks. Maybe season 4, but season 3 and 6 we didn't. I think, maybe. Honestly, I don't really know. I think it was split, but I know season 1 we didn't, so I'm not really sure. It's been kind of back and forth whether we vote for grand finals tracks or not. So this season we are going to, and I'll explain the way we're going to do that. So in previous seasons we've done a system where it's like, alright, vote for, like, in previous seasons it would be something like this. Alright, you have 4 votes for regular season tracks, and then you have 1 grand finals vote. We're not doing that this season. That's dumb. So we're not going to do that. The way we're going to do it this season is we're going to do, like I said earlier, there's 5 GPs. 5 GPs you can vote for. What we're going to do this season is once that voting period ends, which I'll tell you when that is in just a moment here. Once the voting period ends, and we have all the votes in and whatnot, and we have our 5 GPs that have been voted in. We have those 5 tracks decided upon. What happens from that point on is we're gonna have a vote for each of the different track types that are in the grand finals. So for this season, we're gonna stick with last season's format because I think it worked pretty well. And also we merged Supercross and Motocross as one category. Last season we separated it, and I don't think Motocross has the staying power to really justify that. So for this season, this is a slight little change. We're molding SX and MX and AX, all of them, back into the same category like they were in previous seasons, just because I think it makes the most sense, works out the best. So that means that grand finals this season will be an RX, a SX, and a GP yet again. So give you that little tidbit of information, a little bit of leaked info there. But anyways, where was I? I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so after the voting period ends, which I'll tell you in a moment, after that, that's when we'll do separate votes for each of them. So we have our 5 GP tracks. Once the voting period ends, we'll have another short voting period where it's like, alright, between these 5, which one should be the grand finals GP? And I think this will work a little bit better, because the way the grand finals vote worked before was kind of random, I guess you could say. I think it would be. I think we would end up with a better grand finals track if we had people vote for what they think is the best 5, and then narrow down from that group what they think the best grand finals track is. Because the way we had the system before, there could be a track that would have the most grand finals votes, and it would end up being that grand finals track. But the issue with that was that track might not have actually been that popular because it had the most grand finals votes. But if you compare it to the amount of votes that like the top 4, whatever it was in that season, the top 4 regular tracks got, it wouldn't even be close. So I think it had kind of a flaw in the system there where the grand finals track that won was a bit random because people have such different opinions on that, I guess. And I think it would be a lot. I think it would make a lot more sense if we have people vote for the best 5, and then narrow it down from there, because then it's not going to be as random, and then we're truly going to get the best grand finals track. So that's the hope there. Will it work out that way? I have no freaking clue, but that's the hope. So yeah, that should work out. So another date here. So I already said May 4th is not just when track submissions end, but obviously when the voting starts as well. Because I still have a few more things to get through in this video. Jeez. Just so you know, there's not going to be as much commentary in the next submission videos, most likely. This video, I just have a lot to get out there and a lot to announce and stuff like that. So that's why this video is a little bit rambly and stuff like that. There's a lot to go through, so I got to get through all of it. Anyways, like I said, May 4th is the day where submission ends and voting starts. So you may be wondering, okay, so when does voting end? It'll be Wednesday, May 9th. Wednesday, May 9th is going to be when voting ends, and then obviously that's also when grand finals voting starts, and grand finals voting will end on May 11th. May 11th, which is also the day where we have our first race back. It's coming up pretty fast, as usual. So May 11th will be the end date. May 9th will be the start date for the grand finals voting. May 9th will be the end date for regular voting. May 4th will be the start date for regular voting. So there you go. Hopefully I got that out correctly. So yeah, so I know it's going to be, sorry it's so compact, because I know there's only going to be, you're only going to have 2 days? 2 days to vote for it? I think so. Oh yeah, it's not going to work. Shite. Alright, we're switching it up. I've made an audible. We're going sticking with May 9th as the start day for the grand finals vote. But Thursday, the next day, will be when it ends. So that way we'll actually have our tracks set up for the whole season. So sorry that the GP is going to be so, you're not going to have that much time to practice for it. To fix that, I think we might have a 1-day vote on what the first GP should be. So I think we might do something like that so you guys have that extra day to practice, because I don't want it to be where there's only 1 day to practice. That kind of sucks. So yeah, we'll see about that. I'll see if I can fit an extra little okay, what should the first GP be, so that way you have a little bit extra time to practice, because otherwise it's a bit ridiculous. And I don't want it to be a bit ridiculous, so hopefully we can figure that out. So yeah, I just got through all the vote announcements there, the dates and stuff like that, so hopefully that information is helpful, I guess. So besides that, what else to say? Let me think for a second here. Well, I guess I could tell you guys, I'm going to go through it again in the next videos, but I guess I could tell you guys the amount of votes that you have for the other types of tracks. So, there's one other thing I have to go through as well, but we'll get to that after this. So for Supercross, there's going to be, I think it's the same amount as GP, right? GP was 5. And Supercross, Supercross might be one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, it's the same amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I guess so. I guess it is the same amount. Alright. Well, let me double check, make sure I'm right on that. I am. Okay, so Supercross, when the Supercross vote comes out, same thing. 5 votes. 5 votes for GP, 5 votes for Supercross. That's what you get. 5 votes for GP, 5 votes for Supercross. When it comes to Oval, you're going to get 2. So 2 votes, just flat 2 votes for Oval, and there's going to be no Grand Finals vote for that since the Grand Finals is going to be a Rallycross. For Rallycross, you get 3 Rallycross votes. 3 Rallycross votes. So hopefully there's a couple more Rallycrosses made in the coming days here, so there's actually some decisions. Because right now it's to the point where, let me check this. Right now it's to the point where there's 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So hopefully we get 2 more, ideally 3 more rallycrosses made quick before submission to make that rallycross vote interesting. I'm surprised there's not more rallycrosses being made. It's honestly my favorite new track type. So yeah, like I was saying, 3 rallycross votes, 3 rallycross votes. So it's 5 GP votes, 5 Supercross votes, 3 rallycross votes, and 2 oval votes. So there's that. I do remember what I was going to say now. So I was going to address, because I figured most people would probably be wondering while listening or watching this, why I am making this kind of early, why I'm releasing this kind of early. And the reason is, these videos are a lot of freaking work, so I'd rather get these videos out now and have the majority of these tracks shown before submission ends. So you may be wondering, oh, what are you going to do about the extra maps that are made like last minute, submitted last minute? I'm just going to make an extra video for those. So on Friday, I'm going to try to do it on Friday. I should be able to. Because it ends at, like, I guess Thursday at midnight would technically be when track submission ends. So yeah, Friday I'll definitely be able to do, and it's just going to be a video. It's going to be called All Other Submissions or something like that, and it'll just be a compilation of all of them, all the extra tracks that were submitted that aren't in this video, in these last, what is it, like 3 days that you have to submit. So that's what I'm going to do with all that. So I'm doing this so that I can get these videos out of the way a bit early, get some of these tracks out there, because these videos take so much work. And then on Friday, I can get a video with those extra tracks in, and then we should be good. We should be all good from that point. All right, is there any more stuff to talk about? I have a few things that I could talk about, but they might have to be a bit of a podcast, actually. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess I could say, if you have any final ideas for season 7, make sure you post those in the post those in the suggestions tab on Discord. So if you have any final ideas for season 7, make sure you post those in the suggestions tab. Don't forget to do that, and we'll go over it and take that into account. Some of you may be wondering about the schedule. Schedule's pretty similar to season 6. The order of everything is kind of rearranged, but it's the same amount. So it's 14 rounds, 2 wildcard rounds, and 3 grand finals rounds. So 16 rounds in total for the regular season. Everything combined is 19 rounds in total. The order of it is, there's a GP, a Supercross, and an Oval. Those are the first 3 rounds. And then after that, we have our first double header, which is going to be a Rallycross and a GP. And then we have a Supercross, round 6, a Rallycross, round 7, a GP, round 8, a Supercross, round 9, and then round 10, we have another Rallycross doubleheader, interestingly. We have another doubleheader here, round 10 and 11, which is going to be a Rallycross and a GP. Might switch the schedule up a little bit, because I just realized that both doubleheaders are Rallycrosses and GP. Or honestly, we could leave it like that, I don't know. We'll see how it works out. And round number 12 is an Oval. Round number 13 is a Supercross. Round number 14 is a Rallycross, that's Mirabilis. And then 15 and 16, the wild card rounds, Supercross and GP. And then grand finals is going to be Rallycross, Supercross, and GP again. So that's pretty much what we have right now. The order of that might change slightly, but I would say if it does change before we get into the season, it's going to be very similar. And the order in which the tracks that are voted in, the order in which those tracks are put into the schedule is going to be more or less random, like it has been in previous seasons. And hopefully we don't have to make any changes. Hopefully we can just stick with the schedule that is voted in. And there's no, I mean, obviously you can make within 2 weeks before, you can make changes to the tracks. A little bit of an exception for the first 2 rounds, obviously, because the way voting is working out this season. But yeah, just like other seasons, obviously you can make changes up to 2 weeks before. You can do it less than 2 weeks before. If it's urgent, you can do that. So that's the same. Yeah, pretty much it. So it'll only be like small little minor changes to the schedule, if anything. I'd say this will be pretty much the same when we actually race it. The doubleheaders this season, there's 2 doubleheaders, not counting the wild card. With the wild card, there's 3 doubleheaders, so it's the same as last season. We spread them out a little bit more. So, for example, the season starts on May 11th. The first doubleheader is June 1st. The second doubleheader is July 6th, and the final is August 3rd. So, spread out the doubleheaders pretty well there. So I thought you guys would appreciate that the doubleheaders are spread out pretty evenly throughout the schedule. So that's really nice for me as well with the videos, that I don't have to like, oh, I got a doubleheader and then there's a single round, then there's another doubleheader, and it's just, you know, more work. It'll be nice for you guys as well, I think, the racers, just for you know, to have it spread out a little bit more, just a little bit even. That way you can get your practice in and not have to worry about like, okay, I got to practice for a doubleheader, then there's a single round, and then I got to put in a ton of practice again right away. So should work out a little bit better that way. And I think this is about it. We're on Uthuli GP right now, made by Armada 223. So Armada returning to the Forge game. I think he submitted 3 tracks. Well, submitted 3 tracks that he made by himself, and then he helped me with 2 of mine. Well, technically he helped me with all of mine. So Armada definitely working, going ham on that GP forging. So this is a nice track of his. And after this, we're going to have Cavalier GP and Beckham GP. So those will be the last 2, or Beckham Beach GP. Those will be the last 2 GPs to look at for this video. Like I said, there could be, I'm thinking there will be at least one more with that extra submissions video. If you guys are watching this, I just want to remind you, if you're watching this a little bit early as it's released, I encourage you to like list out based off of this video your 5 votes, so that you have them down. And then when that new video or you could even send me the votes, and then when that new video comes out, then you can look at the new track, or maybe it's 2 new tracks or whatever. And if you already sent me your votes, you can be like, okay, I changed my mind. I actually like this track a little bit more than this track, so I want to switch them around. Or you don't even have to send me it beforehand. You can just write them down yourself, and you know, change them yourself when the new video comes out, and then send them to me. Either way works, but just stay organized with that, so that it's really efficient for you guys, not just for me as well. I'm trying to think, is there anything else to talk about for the GP submission video? I mean, I pretty much announced and went through everything I felt like I needed to. I don't think there's anything important left to say. I think I pretty much nailed all of it. I guess last things I have to say is season 7 is going to be amazing, just like the rest of the seasons. I think it's gonna improve just like the rest of the seasons. Whereas, like, you know, from season 1 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, they've all been getting a little bit better, especially noticeable with the grand finals. Like, I feel like all the seasons have been getting more competitive and a lot more fun and a lot more refined and stuff like that. And I think that's going to continue with season 7. I think season 7 will continue that trend, and it'll be one of the best, if not the best, season that we've had yet. So I'm hoping you guys are as excited for it as I am. I'm really excited that we're going to have a solid schedule with a good amount of all these different types of tracks. I think that's what I'm most excited for this season, honestly, is the tracks, because I feel like the tracks across all categories have just improved and improved and improved and improved throughout the entirety of our stint in Halo 5. So I'm really excited for this season's tracks, because this season has got some fire tracks across all categories, and I think that it's going to be the most fun season, especially as a racer, but as a spectator as well, because I think we'll have some good battles on these tracks, but especially as a racer, because, you know, obviously it's better for a racer, have the best types of tracks, have the best tracks. Obviously that'll be good for a racer. Going on to the final track here, we just checked out Cavalier GP. That was one that I forged with Detail and Armada, and now we're going to the final one, which is going to be Beckham Beach GP, made by Roman. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope I streamlined everything pretty well for you guys, so that this voting process doesn't take too long for you. And yeah, good luck to everybody racing in Season 7. We have a lot of people from Season 6 returning, so that's good, because Season 6, I shared a fun stat in the Discord. I think it was, like, off the top of my head, I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it was something along the lines of, for the previous Season 3, 4, and 5, we had 6 drivers in all of those seasons that hit max starts. In Season 6, we had 11. We had 11 drivers hit max starts in Season 6. So that's absolutely nutty. That is insane. So thanks to all the racers, and, you know, you guys for keep on showing up and just continuing to make this racing amazing. for that amazing attendance, and hopefully that attendance can continue. Hopefully we can keep up that amazing attendance going into. That's pretty much it. I don't think there's really anything else I have to say. So just enjoy watching the rest of the gameplay here on Beckham, and see you guys for the next submission videos.